thing your license is going to do for you is help you get paid legally. The law says you have to have a real estate license to make commissions. But a lot of the stuff that you need to do on a daily basis has nothing to do with your license. It has nothing to do with all that information you learned. So today we're going to talk about listing mastery. So I want to ask you guys here, we're going to do a little discovery. How many listings have you gotten in the last 30 days? That's the first thing you need to think about. And we're entering the end of the month, and if you are an entrepreneur, like we've been discussing, right? We want to go from being agent-minded to entrepreneur-minded. You with me?
Mm-hmm.
So what is the difference? Agents don't do end of the month business closings. Every business, think about this for a moment, every business on the planet has an end of the month procedure, right? If you have a lumber company, if you sell donuts, if you sell clothes, every business has an end of the month procedure. What do you think that end of the month procedure is a little bit like? How many of these did I sell? What's my inventory? How much money did I make? How much money did I spend, right? So for those of you that have been in business before, and I know some of you here have managed businesses before, or you managed someone's business in the past, well, guess what? You have to do your end of the month procedures. And for me to explain to you about listing mastery, I have to ask you, let's do a little discovery and let's talk about your end of the month procedures. Today is the what? Today is the 24th. So that means we've got what, 6 more days to close out the month. So when it comes to listings, or when it comes to sales, or when it comes to your appointments, you need to do an end of the month procedure. And it would be a little bit like this. Number one is your numbers. Okay? Number one is your numbers. So how many listing appointments did you go on for the month? How many listings did you capture? So number one is your numbers. Okay? Number two is how and what, which is also called analysis. The analysis. Well, I am in real estate. I have a business I'm running. So not only do I need to know my numbers, how many appointments with sellers, how many appointments with buyers, how many listings did I get, how many buyers did I put under contract. Those are the 4 numbers you need to know. Appointments, buyers and sellers, contracts, listings, and closings. Okay? The next thing you need to do is, how did I get there? So how did I get to that number of appointments that I scheduled with buyers or sellers, or how did I get to that number of appointments that I scheduled with sellers? The problem with real estate is we don't have a path to follow. We don't think of it as a business where we need to know what we did, when we did it, how we did it. So when it comes down to the numbers, how did I get to here? How did I get to these numbers here? How? Meaning, how many people did I call? How many people did I talk to? How many appointments did I actually schedule? Okay? What got me there? What was it that got me there? Was it door knocking? Was it prospecting? Was it mailers? Was it my sphere of influence? Was it my friends? You with me?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Number 3. And you know what? If you get used to doing an end of the month procedure like any other business, okay, you can take this right here, you could create your little sheet of paper, and you can say every month, the last week of the month, this is what I need to do. I need to do my end of the month procedure. Because if you don't do that, you're never going to master listings. You're never going to become a listing master. Because knowing these numbers is the first step towards being a listing master.
Yes.
Whether you believe me or not, knowing these numbers is your first step. So number 3, you're going to have to regroup. If you don't have any listings for the month, there is a problem. If you don't have any pending contracts, there's a problem. Guys, if you don't have contracts every month, month after month, there is a problem because you're not going to have what? It starts with a C. Say it nice and loud. Closings. Closings. You won't have closings in real estate. If you don't have closings, you don't have cash. So yeah, I know cash, right? That's good. But even before the cash, you're not going to have closings. How do you know if you're going to get paid in 30 days from today? How do you know if you're going to get paid in 30 days from today?
If you have appointments.
If you have an appointment today, you can, consider, you probably proved it. You either proved me right, or you proved me wrong by everything we did last week. If you had no contracts written last week, what's going to happen 30 days from now? No money, no honey. So how do you feel about having that type of business? And that is the challenge with our real estate industry. It is so informal. It is so lax. It is so non-business minded. It is so non-entrepreneur minded that the first of the month starts, the end of the month comes, everything's like we're always hoping, wishing, crossing our toes, our fingers, crossing our eyes. But if you want to be a listing master, then you got to know your numbers. What do you do in number 3? You regroup. For those of you that do not have any appointments for this week, you've got a problem. For those of you that had appointments last week, if you didn't write a contract, you have another problem. You need to identify what is your problem and then do what? Find a solution. So you're going to regroup. Okay? You're going to restructure. And you're going to do something very important, which most people don't even know they're supposed to do every month, every week, every day, and that's recommit. Does that have 2 T's or 1 T?
1.
I put 2. An emphasis. You have to recommit. You have to recommit to your business so that you can have a consistent, predictable income generating business. Write that down. Don't you want a predictable, consistent income generating business? Well, if you want a predictable income generating business, predictable income generating business, what do you think you need to have every week?
Appointments. Listings.
Predictable, consistent, appointment setting business. Number 4, and this is the hard part. Let me see, I'm going to put it in a color where we can see it better. Number 4 is you have to take what? Action. Guys, you're not making more money because you haven't taken more action. That's the bottom line. We need to tell ourselves the truth. Marketing is not money-making procedures. Flyers are not money-making procedures. Role-playing is not money-making procedures. What else? What else do we do? Shuffling paper is not money-making procedures. What are money-making procedures? Setting up appointments, going on appointments, writing contracts. Setting up appointments, going on appointments, writing contracts. What would your week be like? What would you feel like if last week you would have scheduled 4 appointments, gotten 2 listing appointments? What would your Monday feel like?
Awesome.
Well, awesome, right? Well, what stopped you?
Your mindset.
This thing, this
Yeah.
mass, this gray matter right here. It's our mindset. So you need to create an action, and you need to find someone to hold you what?
Accountable.
See, the problem with you working from home or working with wherever you're working, and I'll prove it to you because I'll follow you for 30 days, and if you can't show me the results of an entrepreneur real estate agent, then I can prove to you that working from home does not work. It doesn't work. Working from home does not work. It does not work.
I can attest to that.
You can attest to that? Anybody else can attest to that?
Yep.
The mindset is not there. The mindset when you're working from home is just not there. So today is Money Making Monday. Every Monday should be Money Making Monday for you. Okay? But it's not going to be a Money Making Monday if you don't start off with a consistent, predictable, daily action plan. You have to have an action plan, and everyone has it in their onboarding hub. You print it out, and you follow it. You just put a little check mark. It's already been done. It's already been designed. It already tells you in the order that you should follow it, the things that you're supposed to be doing, but you need to find someone to hold you accountable. Someone that's going to say, how many calls did you make? How many? See, we talk about being busy. The bottom line is, what is the result you're looking for? There's only one result. If you're going to tell me how busy you are, and I want to get you used to understanding this, if you're going to tell me how busy you are, You and I just need to look for one result. What is it called? It starts with an A. Appointments. You're not busy if you're not scheduling an appointment. You may be feeling busy, but tell me the truth. Tell me the truth. What does everything in real estate begin with? What does a pending contract with a buyer begin with?
Contact with people.
An appointment. You can contact people, and yes, that's the you can contact people, but if you don't schedule an appointment, are we writing a contract?
No.
You can contact people, you can door knock, you can visit for sale by owners and expireds. If you don't get an appointment from one of those, are we writing a contract?
No.
So everything begins, I want to brainwash you to the point that you eat, breathe, sleep, talk, walk, dream, appointments. Because the bottom line is, if you're telling me how busy you are, then the result should be what? Appointments. The only thing that matters for you in real estate is what? Say it nice and loud. Appointments. Watch the people that have appointments. They're the people that are having closings. You know, meet with me at the office at 12 noon today. We're going to go buy a house. That's the result you're looking for. So we need to understand, if you're going to master listings, you need to master these numbers. You need to know them like I know them. Okay? You need to master, okay, how do I put my business together? See, everybody's telling me, oh, I want to learn how to go on a listing appointment. I want to learn, what I'm going to say. I want to learn. You're asking, it's like someone asking, I want to know how to fly when I don't even know how to get out of the seat. Let's get out of the seat. It's called appointments. And then throw yourself out there, and you're going to learn all the stuff you need to learn, because 30 minutes before you go on the appointment, you want to learn scripts? Set up appointments. 30 minutes before you meet with the buyer, review your scripts. You want to learn how to list? Set up appointments. 30 minutes before the listing presentation, review your scripts. See, our mind tells us, I want to be so busy, I want to do so much. There's only one thing you need to do day in and day out. Every day, Monday through Friday, Saturdays by appointments, and Sundays, I don't know what you decide to do. And that's set what? You need to have what every day? Appointments. That's it. So you have to take a moment and ask yourself, okay, how many appointments did I schedule last week? How many appointments did I schedule last week? How many appointments did I meet with belly to belly, face to face, nose to nose with either a buyer or a seller last week? And if I give you an appointment, it don't count. That don't count, because that's a little gift. It's the ones that you can do, the ones you can put together. Everybody with me?
Yes.
So I'm going to give you the fundamentals. You're going to take down, I always like, starting off, our first level of training is giving you the know-how, right? This is the know-how. Okay, this is how I'm going to master listings. I need to know these numbers. Okay, I need to know how many appointments did I schedule. I need to know how many people did I see. I need to know, I need to understand, where did I get them from? Did I visit businesses? Did I visit for sale by owners? Did I visit expires? Did I call my friends? Did I door knock? Did I get on the phone? Did I cold call? Did I warm call? How did I get these people, and what was it that gave me those numbers? What was it? What did I tell them? What did I do? What was it that gave me those numbers? So you analyze your numbers. Number 3, you regroup, you restructure, and you recommit. You recommit. Okay? Everyone wants to be, look, we as humans, we all want to be the best that we can be. Are you with me? How many agree? Yeah, we all want to be the best that we can be. You want to know the secret to being the best that you can be? HW. It's called hard work. It's called doing what you know you need to do even when you don't want to do it. It's called discipline. It's called forcing yourself to be the best you can be even when you don't feel like being it. It's called determination. Oh, that's where everything falls apart, because we're what? Independent what?
Contractors.
Oh yeah, we're independent contractors, and nobody what? Nobody can tell us what to do. So if I want to sit here and scroll through Facebook, do 2 posts, and stay there for 3 hours, No one's going to tell me what to do, but you're not going to become the best that you can be. I'm here to tell you the truth. Don't tell me you want to make money if you're not willing to put the HW into play. What's the HW? Hard work. Hard work. So you need to recommit. You need to recommit, and then you need to make an action plan. Can I give you a secret?
Yes.
From all the people in the back to all the people in the front, can I give you one secret? Tell the person next to you, she's going to give us a secret.
She's gonna use a secret.
Tell them again.
Tell.
If you don't change, nothing will change. I hear the most frustrating conversations. I hear the most, desperate verbalizations of people in real estate. And it's because they have not changed anything. So if you don't change, nothing will what? Change. So just change one thing. What could that one thing be? Can I give you the secret? Tell her she's going to give us another secret. One more. Come on, tell him. Everybody in the back. I like the guy in the back and his neighbor. Show up. Wow. Show up every day at the same time, consistently, like if you were a true president of a corporation. Because what I'm trying to teach you is how to be the president of your company. If you were the president of your company, would your mojo change? Mm-hmm. Would your way of conducting yourself every day change? Would your mind? Okay, so last secret. One more secret. This stuff is good. Tell the person, one more secret, man. This stuff is intense today. You have permission to be the president of your company. You have permission.
You.
There's
a mirror.
There's a mirror.
You.
You have permission to be the president of your company. Who told you that you don't have a company? I know they didn't tell you that in real estate. They didn't tell you you're getting into a business. Don't fall into being an agent, be an entrepreneur. So I'm laying down the groundwork for you. You have permission. Tomorrow when you wake up, it's not going to be you. It's going to be the president of your company. And then the next secret is you show up every day just like the president of a company would. And then you do the things that the president of the company is supposed to do, which is what?
Show up.
Well, that's the first one. Show up. Get on your action. Start your actions. But guys, listen, it's 2019. It's 2019. Are you finishing your year where you knew you could finish it if you're brand new? It's 2019, so you need to start now. Otherwise, you're not going to finish next year where you know you can finish. Or are you doing real estate by accident? Are you doing real estate by accident? Accidentally, my friend called me. Accidentally, I ran into someone. Accidentally, someone walked in. Accidentally, I met a friend. Accidentally, I returned a phone call. Accidentally, I answered the phone. Accidentally, I followed up. Accidentally, the person that I worked with before called me again. Now they want to sell. Accidentally. And we live in this real estate world that's filled with prosperity, that's filled with, so much opportunity to change our financial future. I always say the same thing. If you don't need the money, save it. Build up that bank account. Get it to $300,000. You have permission to do that. Get it to $100,000. You have permission to do that. Pay off your house. You have permission to do that. Buy a car cash. You have permission to do that. You have permission to do anything you want, but you got to put the HW. What's that?
Hard work.
Yeah. And if you think like an agent, you're never going to make presidential money. You are the president of your company, so every morning you should wake up and what? Show up. Tell the person next to you, show up. Show up. Same time, same place.
He always shows up.
Like if you really were the president of your company. Okay, fundamentals. I have to tell you why you want to do this. Some of you, actually one of you here is really going to take this and run with it. Just one of you here will take this and just run with it like a champion. Just run with it like a ninja, okay? And then another couple of you will just, grab the information. Oh man, that was great information. By tomorrow you won't remember a thing. You won't remember a thing. And then the rest of you are here just because either you had nothing better to do maybe, or you just want, let's see what Lucy's talking about now. I'm just curious. And so I don't know which one you are, but I'm going to give you the fundamentals of why it benefits you to do this so that you can understand. So see if we can have some of that mindset shift. So write this down. Why be a listing agent? Why be a listing agent? Why be a listing agent? Number one, because if you don't understand the why, you're never going to be interested in the how. So we're going to lay down the fundamentals, and then we're going to get into the how to. You're actually going to break up and do some exercises. So number one, higher income potential. Everybody knows that when you are a listing agent, who dominates the deal?
You, the listing agent.
Yeah. When you're a listing agent, who dominates the negotiations?
We do.
The listing agent, right? What else does it offer you when you're the listing agent? You control your time. See, everybody that works with a buyer, who controls the time? The buyer. When you work with a listing, who controls the time? You do. So higher income potential. Why? Because if you have a listing, what if you found the buyer? You just make 2 commissions in one. As long as you're working with a buyer, that'll never happen. Now, I'm not saying don't work with buyers. I'm just telling you the truth. I know the business. I know how to play real estate, and I know how to win. I know how to win in real estate, and we know how to make money in real estate. So if I were you, I would just take what you're learning and just implement it. You're going to go through some pain. You're going to go through some sweat, but it's all going to end up being good. So number 2, what we just said, power over time. You're going to control your time. You're going to control your time. Number 3, you're going to have market share. Market share. What is market share? Is what segment of the market do you represent? So if I ask you right now as a business owner, as a real estate entrepreneur, what segment of the market are you currently representing? You're going to tell me either I don't know, or if you don't have a listing, you're not representing, you don't have market share. You have buyers that are looking to buy. Oh, thank God I worked out this morning. How many of you made it to the gym this morning already?
Try.
You don't get paid for trying. Try to pay your light bill, right? Like Joe's, try to pay your light bill. What would happen? Yeah, it was hard, man. When that clock went off, I was like, oh my gosh, no. But yes, I did it. Market share. If you don't have a listing, you don't have market share. You don't have a market presence. Okay? There's nothing out there with your sign, with your writer, with your name. Think about it. If you don't have a listing, nothing out there has your name, your writer, your information. Okay? So, bolder market share is number 3. Number 4, you dominate your business when you do listings. You dominate your business. Top producing listing agents, they work about 4 days a week. They take weekends off, including Friday. But they carry a minimum of 20 listings in their inventory all the time. Think about yourself if you were able to carry an inventory of 20 listings all the time. Now, can you carry an inventory of 20 listings every time?
You can,
If you wanted to. Oh, Lucy, but that's too much work. Yeah, and it's going to be too much taxes at the end of the year. Yeah. Let's just make a little bit of money so we don't pay too much taxes. We don't want to make too much money because the taxes are going to be higher. That's not an entrepreneur mindset. If you have more work, you hire an assistant. It's a write-off. And then you get to tell someone, do this, do that, do that. They help you, and you have freedom of choice versus you being a one-man show. You're the agent, you're the assistant, you're the secretary, you're the follow-up, you're the this, you're the delivery person, you're everything. Make money and hire an assistant, but of course that is only for entrepreneur-minded people, right? So if you put in the hard work, you're going to get that entrepreneur mindset. So the next thing I want to give you is, how do you win in the listing world every time? How do you win in the listing world every time? These are the fundamentals, and then we're going to, how do you win? How do you win in the listing world every time?
Putting yourself out there. Contacting people.
Okay,
Making appointments.
perfect. Excellent. Make appointments, get out there, talk to people. Now you're there. You're at the listing presentation. I'm going to give you 5 things that are going to help you, actually 3 things that are going to help you win every time. But guys, the truth of the matter is this is going to take practice. Okay? I hear the Dolphins are doing really good, right? They're doing like really, really, really good. Like all the haters are hating.
The Giants.
The haters are hating because the Dolphins are doing good. Do you think they have to practice?
Oh, yeah.
How often?
A lot.
Consistently, all the time. For hours and hours and hours and hours. So if we're in real estate, we need strong sales or listing skills, right? We need high capabilities of handling objections and overcoming objections and negotiations. Can somebody explain to me why realtors don't practice? Because you need high skills, you need high capabilities. Why do more of us not practice on a daily basis to perfect our game, to be better at our game? What is it that's holding us back? Any ideas?
We forget what we're supposed to do.
We forget what we're supposed to do. Okay, that's anybody else?
Accountability.
Accountability. Anybody else?
Laziness.
Laziness. Okay.
Probably settle.
They settled. Anybody else? So if I told you you had a bank account with $100,000, all you needed to do was learn the account code or the account number and then go to the bank. You mean to tell me that all these reasons would stop us, right?
No.
Because we all have the potential of $100,000 that we can generate in the next 12 months. But you just said, why don't we practice? Because if we don't practice, we're never going to play at that level. The truth is, if you don't practice, if you don't develop your skills, you're overcoming objections, if you stay where you are now, unless you're making $100,000, do you realize you're never going to get to that $100,000?
Yes.
And then the reasons that you gave me, which are valid reasons, you know, we're all human, we're dealing with a human psychology, human thoughts. The reasons you gave me are exactly the same reasons that we would not make it to the bank to claim our $100,000. The problem is we're not either believing or we're not believing or we're not believing or we're not believing that I do have a $100,000 money-making vehicle in my hand. It is mine. And no one can stop me. And what blocks us from believing that? This mush right here. It's this mush. It's the mush. We get mushed. Oh, I don't feel like it.
It's too hot.
It's too hot.
It's too cold.
It's too
raining.
cold.
I get an appointment and I'm gonna mess up anyway.
You know, they probably won't hire me anyway. Well, I'm really busy. I mean, I'm talking to so many people. Did you get an appointment? No. I don't have any appointment, but I'm really busy. Don't fool yourself. It's all based on appointments. It's not based on talking. Talking is one thing. Setting appointments is where the game begins. Right? So do you really believe you have $100,000? Maybe you're scared of making $100,000 a year. Maybe you've never made $100,000 a year. You can't even like make yourself believe that you can do that. Sometimes we can't believe what we haven't done. We say we can. We all talk a good gap. You know, we say we want it because somewhere deep down inside we want it. But how bad do you really want it? Do you want it bad enough to show up tomorrow, 8 in the morning, like the president of a troop? Well, the problem is, Lucy, can I tell you about my schedule? Because my schedule is not like anybody's schedule. You're the president of a corporation. What would the president of the corporation say when the board said tomorrow 8 a.m.? What would the CEO, the president of a corporation, say?
Be present.
Don't be late.
Don't be like, you do it, because that's their mindset. You know, I control my schedule. So that's where we got to go back and we got to do what? Regroup. Does everybody in your household know you want to hit 100,000? Maybe they don't. Because if they do, then they got to support a $100,000 a year money maker. And if you're going to be a $100,000 a year money maker, it's going to take a different type of support than a $30,000 a year money maker. To make $30,000 in 1 year at the average sales price, if you get both sides, you only have 3 listings. Would you agree it takes a little bit of different support for a 3 to 5 deal a year closer than for a 50 deal a year closer?
Mm-hmm.
So does your family know? Who else besides you knows about this fantasy? Who else besides you knows about this dream? Are they going to support you 150%? No ifs, ands, or buts? You know, whatever you need. Here's my schedule. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do it Monday through Friday. I'm going to take the weekends off. Here's what I need you to do for me. See, we don't have these conversations. So why am I going to get into listing mastery and give you all this? You could go download it from MikeFerry.com, TomFerry.com, you know, all the .coms. My job here is not to give you the .coms or give you more information. It's to get into your psyche and hopefully help you generate a shift. Do you realize that our industry is the only industry with the most information that makes the lowest amount of money? How do you feel about being in that industry? Are you going to blend in? Are you going to be another one? A statistic? Well, that's the industry I'm in, so I might as well, you know, if you can't beat them, join them. You know, I'll work from home. I'll prospect in my pajamas with my dragon breath. You know, no one's going to see me anyway. You know, I'll walk around with, you know, my hair undone, you know, just looking all... How good do we feel when we're all in our pajamas, dragon breath, you know, hair in a ponytail? How energetic, how enthusiastic, how on fire, how on purpose, how driven, how determined, how relentless do we really feel?
You don't.
You don't. And that's how you perform at home. Who are we kidding? That's how we perform at home. Right? So I'm in no hurry to get to this, because if you don't change your mindset, you're not going to do it anyway. Even the people on Facebook aren't going to do it anyway, because it takes mental power to bring forth the stuff that we need to do. So you want to have higher income potential. You're telling me you want to have time management, right? Right?
Yes.
You want to have market share, right? You want to have domination over your business. So it all begins with a what? An appointment. You have to schedule an appointment. Where's the best place to prospect from? The office. Okay? That's where the top producers prospect from, is the office. I'm going to give you the 3 things you need to learn, you need to do, and we're going to work on this after we say goodbye to the world. We're going to work on this here, because I have my number one interest that I told all of you is we are an agent development organization that happens to sell real estate. If I don't develop you, if I don't help you have a mindset shift, if I don't, you know, give you a new way of thinking, if I don't break those paradigms, those core beliefs that you have, and those core, you know, values and thoughts that have been driving you, your autopilot. If I don't break your autopilot, you're just going to repeat the same thing week after week. See, but when you have a boss and the boss tells you, this is when you're going to show up. How many of you pull out your schedule and say, well, Mr. Boss, can I just tell you, I can't come in at that time, because on my schedule at that time, I'm doing a couple of little things. So we're going to have to adjust my schedule. What would your boss tell you?
You're fired.
Don't bother.
Do me a favor. Don't call me. I will call you. Wait for my phone call. And by the way, sit down so you don't get tired. Why do we do that for a boss and we don't do it for ourselves? I'm telling you, it's the mind. We will do whatever we need to do for a boss that will determine our income potential, what we're going to make per hour, per year. I don't care how you break it down, it's all the same thing. Right? We'll be there when they say, we will get up, we will shower, we will, dress up, we will show up whether we feel like it or not. But you're telling me that you and I are not more valuable than that boss? Because we don't do it for us the way we should, when we should, because we're the president of our company. So we're looking to develop presidential mindset people. Are you a presidential mindset person? I don't know. Guess what's going to tell us if you are? It's real easy. Your results speak for yourself. I can sit with anyone here in this room or in the company today. I'll ask you a couple questions and I will know exactly where you are and what you've been doing. What would those questions be? How many hours did you work in real estate last week? Because a person that has worked in money-making skills will know their numbers. Well, last week I put in 55 hours. Okay, great. And what did you do? Well, I prospected for 15. I went on 3 listing appointments. I got 1 listing. I called and followed up with all my buyer leads for about 3 or 4 hours. I have scheduled 4 or 5 appointments with those buyers this week. So I should be ending up the week with about 2 buyer contracts. And then I'm still working on following up with the listing appointments from last week. So this week I am going to shoot for closing out the week with another listing and 2 buyer contracts. That's how a president talks. That's how a president speaks of his company. Because if you ask me how many appointments I had last week and what I did last week and what I'm going to do this week, I can tell you. Because for me, it's not an accident. It's a premeditated, deliberate path to success. So if that's what I have to do, guess what we all have to do? The same thing. So 3 things I'm going to give you, and we're going to end with this. Number 1, when you are at the listing table, when you are in front of the seller, okay? Number 1, you must outperform the other interviewees. Outperform the other interviewees. We're going to be closing up after these 3. So number 1, you have to outperform the other interviewees. Number 2, you have to stay ahead of your competition. You must stay ahead of your competition. I promise you that if you focus on these 3 things next year, you will be so happy because you are going to reach production heights that you never imagined possible. Okay? Number 3, become an expert. Become an expert at what you're doing and what you say you're going to do. Be more valuable. Become an expert.